Fox News sucks. There, I said it. Plain and simple, they betrayed their viewers. So why does that bother us so much? And what do we do now? Fox News has betrayed its viewers, plain and simple. I, like you, have been watching them drift further and further left since the beginning of the election, and then accelerate that drift post-election. They used to be my go-to. I used to go to, Brett Baer, I used to compliment him and say he was the best in the business. I didn't know how he voted, and I like that. I want my news desk in the center. I want them just to give me the facts. And I want my opinion piece to be more something I agree with. So watching the Fox News desk and continue to drift further and further left just really started to concern me. And then on election night, when the decision desk made the call for Virginia with less than 1% in, as a Virginia voter, that pissed me off. And then in Arizona, when they called it, so darn early, it really shifted everything. And then all the negative, all the coverage just continued to go negative from there. But it started way before that. And the biggest example that I can think of was the debate where Chris Wallace, who's a left-wing liberal Democrat, who has always been one and has never hid that on Fox News. I think he does them a serious disservice. Got on there, moderated that debate as the best in the business, and absolutely embarrassed himself with that stupid, denounce, white supremacy crap that Trump has done 20 times, and it just discredited the whole thing. And then Trump proceeded to beat his face in with a sledgehammer the rest of the debate. I'm glad that happened, even though it was a terrible debate. I'm glad because Chris Wallace will never be considered the best in the business, and hopefully they'll turn it over to Brett and Martha. But Brett and Martha have egg on their face, and their reputation took a hit after that decision desk call on election night. I've been watching Martha since then. She has covered the corruption in the election and has been pretty fair to it. Some of her guests, not so much, but her, I feel like she has been good to go. I still watch Tucker Carlson. I think Tucker's the best in the business. Tucker last night had on Sidney Powell, or wanted to have on Sidney Powell. He covered the big news conference with Giuliani and Sidney Powell and the rest of the crew. And, Tucker, kind of called her out saying, hey, we want this evidence. Tucker did it in a classy way. He didn't say it was untrue. He didn't doubt her. He says he takes her serious. But he offered her, an episode, the whole hour or a whole week to go over the bombshell of the accusations out there. I thought that was fair because he would have done it to the other side as well. And at the same time, he didn't say it was untrue. He said that she's going to have to start producing some stuff. And he's right in a way, but it is not in the Trump campaign and the Trump legal team's best interest to put all this information forward right now. Right? They're essentially throwing everything with the kitchen sink at the legal system right now to get judges to look at an overwhelming amount of evidence, and whether it be circumstantial or substantial evidence, to say, hey, pump the brakes. We need to investigate this, and we need to have a trial where there's discovery and everything else going on, and that's where they'll present their case. So they don't want to put everything out there, that somebody else could disprove or sow doubt or do any of that other stuff. Because again, the whole point is to hit the judges with this overwhelming amount of data that they say, hey, we're going to look at this. And then they'll throw out some of it and they'll keep some of it. The thing that made them stop and launch the investigation may be a piece that gets thrown out later. And we still could win the case with the other pieces of evidence. So it's not really in their best interest to go out and fight the PR battle out in the news media. They need to do that in the courtroom, because that's where this is going to be decided, and then release it to the public where it can all be scrutinized and they can see why the judge ruled which way or that way, or, and if we win, great. If we don't, that sucks, and we'll have to figure out how to go from there. But again, if people want to start jumping on Tucker for that, I think it's wrong. We really need to look at and understand that the news division of channels really needs to get a hold of itself and come back to the center and report just the facts. Unfortunately, news and opinion have blurred themselves, and they've been editorialized to the point where no one even knows what news is anymore. And most of it's just opinion, and that is the problem. Now, Fox still has some champions on there. They still have the best in the business, which I think is Tucker Carlson. They still have Maria Bartiromo. They still have, people who are going to fight the fight for the people, I believe. The Sean Hannity. Now, I like Sean. I've said it before. I'd hang out with him. I probably agree with him on a lot of different things, and I think we could be great friends. But I've never learned anything on his show, and I find him, more of just a cheerleader. And there are times when I want a cheerleader, when things are looking bad. But most of the time, I want it straight, and I want my news coverage. I don't want to watch right-wing propaganda just as much as I don't want to watch left-wing propaganda, no matter how much I agree with some of the things they're saying. I want to make that decision myself, so just give it to me straight. And I believe that Tucker does a good job at calling balls and strikes. I mean, last night he criticized some Republicans, and that's what I like about Tucker, So, should we totally tune out from Fox News? I don't believe so. I do believe there's some silver lining in this. I do think that they made a bad business decision, and let me talk about that. I think their business decision is they looked at how terrible the coverage was on CNN and MSNBC and CNBC and said, you know what, we can peel some of those viewers off and grow our base because we've kind of capped out on the right-wing base. And I think that that's wrong. And let me tell you why it's wrong. If you want to watch center-left coverage or far-left coverage, you've got like 30 channels you can watch. You can watch ABC, NBC, CBS, any letters you want to throw into a blender and pull out, they're going to be the center-left. And Fox trying to grab them over, I don't think is a smart call. So if that's their strategy, I think they're going to lose viewers, and they already are. I heard that Cavuto's viewers are down 50%, and he's another left-wing troll on there. He's big business, but he's the new corporatist left. The Democrats are now corporatists, and that's what Neil Cavuto is. All Wall Street and not Main Street, right? He's not middle class. He's not, working class. You couldn't be further from it, right? So, again, I think they made a bad decision, and I think they're going to lose more viewers to where I went, which I'll talk about here, in a bit when we talk about what do we do now. But, looking at Newswhack, Max, and OAN, which is where, I've been going for my TV coverage now. But why does this bother us so much, right? Why does it bother us so much that Fox did this? If they made a business decision, it's a free market and they can do what they want. And I think the reason why it stings so damn much is that they did it to us at the worst time. When we needed our one news channel, the most successful news channel in cable television, with the most successful shows on there, to fight the fight for us and for truth. It was this election, and they turned their back on us right now when we're most vulnerable and where we counted on them to have our back, and that's part of it. The other part is a lot of us, I've been defending Fox News against the mob and against, people who said, they're fake news or whatever for so damn long. It felt like they just stabbed us in the back. We were with Fox when they were low budget and they grew up to be this massive, media, cable news television show that we counted on. And, and we feel like we betrayed. And then the other part is Fox News made it really easy for us to be lazy. And I would be the first one to tell you, I would just turn on, I'd wake up, I'd turn on Fox, I'd see stuff, and that's where I got my news. I'd go to the New York Post at times, I'd go to the Wall Street Journal at times, but mainly I was able to just get most of my news from Fox. And then if I wanted to see the counterpoint, I'd go to, ABC, CBS, NBC, even CNN to see what the crazies were saying so I can understand their point of view and see what the enemy was saying. So that really, that just sucked. It just sucked that now I got to make it a part-time job to go find good news. So where do we go now, right? Well, we go to Newsmax, we go to OAM, but it sucks because now you can't just pop, I used to just have Fox News on in the background and that's where I would get everything. Now, again, I'll tell you where I'm going for my news. I'm going to Newsmax and One American News Network. I'm still watching Tucker. I'm watching Martha still to see, when she's covering a topic that I care about. And the rest of the time I'm on One American News or Newsmax. I've been watching Steve Bannon's War Room. It's phenomenal. That guy's brilliant. I understand why he was on the Trump team now. I've been going to Breitbart and I've been going to the Epoch Times. And that's pretty much it. There are some other shows out there on the internet, but there's too many to list that are good, citizen journalists that are doing the job that the networks aren't doing. So there is hope out there. And there is some good news about Fox News doing what they're doing. If they hold it all to their roots, if they don't become another left-wing propagandist machine controlled by the deep state. If their model where they try to, want to suck people in, which, and again, I want to hit the second part of that because I didn't finish my statement on that. I also believe that in their model, even if they pull over some from the other channels, they're trying to get advertisers. So right now they have Tucker Carlson, which is the highest rated show in cable. And have you seen the commercials on there? You got a Billy Graham commercial. You got another Jesus guy on there. You got the My Pillow guy, and pretty much a couple other pretty low budget commercials on there. You're not getting the cars. You're not getting the big national things because of cancel culture, right? Because cancel culture, they can't capitalize on their ratings, which I get sucks, right? But they should have rolled in and went after cancel culture instead of caving and doing what they're doing. So if they maintain center right, let's say they do 60-40 or 70-30 right to, liberal on there, they're going to reach a wider audience than they had, and they're going to draw people who are open-minded off the other channels into their channel. And they're going to have red pill them. You're going to get people getting exposed to the truth on the other side. Now, again, this is best case scenario. I don't know if they're going to go that way. Time will tell. But it may not be all doom and gloom. In the end, the other part is it gets us all off our butts and making us go out there and look for good, credible news sources. And it's a great, great thing for entrepreneurs like Newsmax and One American News and all of these citizen journalists to go out there and make a name for himself. So anyways, there you have it. That's my opinion on Fox News. I got Patriot Crusader Mission.